Hey guys, I thought I'd immerse myself in a close to serious background so you can take me seriously in this video, but I hope you're well. I'm back. So I'm going to touch on a topic that is quite important to me. Well, not, yeah, I'll say quite important to me because again, I was just sort of talking to my friends. Like I said, I will talk and touch on topics that I will discuss with my girlfriends. So again, I had a conversation with a friend and who has great earnings, and you know, we had a conversation about investing, and immediately I sort of just brought up the question, how's like your investment strategy, like what are you doing in terms of investing and like savings and things like that. She was almost like taken back by it, and it was just something that she didn't want to discuss because she said she didn't understand it. And I was like, it is really simple, and that's the mindset I used to have before, that investments and investing your savings were more for the traders and the brokers and, you know, and the investment managers, and that's not the case, because when someone literally sat me down when we were just having drinks, it was super simple and I jumped on the bandwagon like quickly. And I suppose it did help that I worked in an investment asset management space, not because that like being in that company helped me, yes it did, but because my colleagues at the time, and I had a lot of friends within the company who were sort of investment managers, and like they would just talk about, you know, things that they had put their savings into and the returns on investments that they were getting. And I'm like, oh my god, like you guys are so cool, like how do you do this? Like I wanna start investing too. I want to like just start a savings plan and see if I can be a part of, you know, the growth of a company. So again, like I said, it was like just within just having a conversation over lunch that I decided that I'm going to start investing my money. And investing is very simple, and like people just overthink it. It's as good as, I suppose, before in the olden days where there were no sort of online, there are no softwares and online like third-party brokers where you literally had to call brokers before you traded, and they charge you a fee to invest or buy shares in a company. But yeah, but now it's a lot easier because you don't have to go through all of that process before you buy shares. You can literally do it straight from your bank account, and you can automate the process as well. And there's so many, an array of saving apps on, like there's so many saving apps, it's ridiculous. So now it's like the whole investing game has changed, and you should jump on the bandwagon. Again, I'm just going to put a disclaimer, I am in no shape or form an investment professional. I'm just the average Joe who feels like it's sensible, who thinks it's sensible to save some of your money, okay? And with the hopes that in the future, perhaps 10 years, I mean, when the prices of things have gone up, or when the company's forecasts have gone up, or their results, the performance has improved greatly, and when inflation has also kicked in and affected your money, you're going to benefit from the returns of what you did 10 years prior to that, or 5 years prior, or 3 years. I know a mate of mine who was investing on a monthly basis, and because the company stocks that he had invested in had skyrocketed in the space of God knows how many years, he was the return on his investment, he was able to put a down payment on his property. So that's the kind of thinking that you want to cultivate. Or perhaps you might be investing for a long term, for something in the long term where you feel might need a large proportion or amount of your money. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, so I'm going to touch on the apps. And I'm a part of, I've got 3 apps right now. To be honest, I could just focus on one because Hargreaves Lansdown is the biggest in the UK and they're an online broker. I'll show you what they look like, and all you have to do is sign up for an account. Sign up for an account. You can open an ISA on there. You can open like a pensions account and just start saving, diversifying like your investments and your savings, and just put them in loads of different companies. And I know what I'm saying might be like jargon right now, and in fact Hargreaves, in comparison to the US has loads of brokers out there, so I'm sorry. Yeah, they're quite a lot, and I know they're quite a lot on the on NASDAQ and some of your other market exchanges, so you guys can go and do your own due diligence if you are in the US, but the same principles I'm going to talk about will still apply in this video. So I'm a part of Hargreaves Lansdown, and it's like the biggest online broker in the UK, I believe. Yeah, I don't want to twist my words. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's the most known, because I know there are 2 others. And they have a variety of products and services to which you can put your money in. You have access to listed, a lot of listed companies and the FTSE. You also have access to UK market, US markets as well. So if you feel like you want to invest in the Netflix and the Facebooks of this world because you're going to, that there's a foreseeable, or you foresee that their performance is going to skyrocket in the future, then you can be a part of the growth of that company. Investing is great, like I said, because every company has, every company is set up in a way so that they're constantly growing year on year. And for a company to grow year on year would mean that their products are becoming more desirable and they're getting known by more people. They also introduce more products and services, and they also introduce different business streams to which they can get income. So as a result of those commercial activities, then the price of your stock goes up every year, or depending on when they declare dividend. Money is such a sensitive topic. It shouldn't be sensitive at all. It's pretty much the bread and butter and breath of life. I mean, if life is meant to be an experience an experience to be enjoyed and to be lived, and if you want to have a plethora of experiences in life, you need money. So it's a very important topic, and it's one that would be actually beneficial to you in the long term. So in terms of, like I said, Apple stocks, there are 2 ways that you can earn money from a company, and that is through dividends and by you selling your shares, literally. So if the company, most companies like declare their dividends, so a dividend payout every year, or some of them do it quarterly, some of them do it biannually, and by owning a share, and if that share is profitable, they'll give you the money they'll give you profit from what they made on a biannual basis, basically. So your banks tend to pay biannually, so it's worth looking at, you know, like if you want to invest in a company, then it's worth looking at, you know, how they pay their shares. And again, before you invest, and I'm going to talk about myself because I invest mainly in property funds, diversified funds, again because I worked in property, and I tend to invest in loads of big companies. So companies where they've had like a long-term history of consistent, decent, stable results. You might want to be an emotional investor if you feel like, actually, because this company supports good causes, or because they're trying to fight hunger somewhere, or they're trying to eradicate the need for water. So if you watch like The Big Short, I believe the hedge fund manager, is it Mark Baum, I think, he only invested in water because he felt there was a shortage of water, and he was trying to support companies who were constantly looking for ways to, you know, make the supply of water a priority, basically. So that is one thing. You can be an emotional investor, and you may be completely cutthroat, have no emotions, and just say, I'm in it for the money, I'm gonna, you know, like go in and like invest in, you know, my financial services companies and my investment banks, like my Goldman Sachs, or, you know, your oil companies, where like despite all the nonsense going on with global warming and all of that, and you damning the consequences and saying, I'm going to do this mainly for profits. Insurance is usually very good. Personally, like I said, I invest in property. I'm going to diversify that now because my big companies, because I know in the UK especially, there's a shortage of land, or there's a shortage, not a, there's a shortage of supply of really good property, and not only property for living, but property for commercial purposes. So we're in a phase right now in the UK where we're moving from, like, there's so much online activity, so the need for distribution hubs are very important, in warehouses as well. So that is where property is going at the moment. So it's like knowing, and then I also invest in a fund that does a variety of commercial as well as residential stuff. And then I also commit some of my savings to an app called Moneybox. And when I say commit, I'm talking really low cost, like I could do like £10 a week. Moneybox, where like Moneybox is a really cool app because what it does is it takes your spare change. If you're a spender, if you spend things on like frivolous things like me getting a coffee from Starbucks every day, it like rounds for £3.50, it rounds it up to the nearest number, so it'll add like, it'd go to £4 and it would invest that 50p, your spare change, into a diversified fund. If the funds you are investing in are diversified, it's the risk of that, the risk of you losing your money is very low. Okay, the probability of you losing your money is very low. Personally, I'm a long-term investor. I think long-term investing is great. I'm not looking to short-term invest in because I'm not a trader. I don't need immediate cash. I'm just like trying to understand and see how I can grow my money and how I can support companies that I love, or how I could also support my just investments and just know about how investments work anyway. So hopefully this video was clear on investments. If you'd like a part 2, let me know. But like I said, please don't, it is not hard to invest. All you have to do is, like I said, download an app, check out the companies that you like, look at their results, see how much they've been able to yield year on year, look at their share price, see if it's something that you like. Actually, this company pays out, they've been doing very well year on year. Even looking at their reports on a 5-year basis, they've been able to turn over like 3%, 4%, which is stable, and they've been around for a long time. Actually, I like to invest in this and just keep my savings in there and benefit from getting the dividends, as well as, you know, the flexibility, having the flexibility of me to even just take out, like sell my shares and invest in other things that I may like. It's like investing into the future of your country and into the future of companies that do great things in the world. So that, you know, this is not, I don't think this is a bougie sport or something that is just limited to people who are intelligent. It's just a good, it's just as good manners. Is like you being a part of your community and like contributing in a very good way, in a very positive way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and give me a thumbs up if you like. Again, if you'd like more information about what I have spoken about, I'm going to do a long blog post listing all the things I spoke about, including the brokers, the companies and everything. So hopefully you can just start investing, and I'll catch you in my next video. So take care, bye.